In this video, we were talking about Josh Diamaro's latest comments from just a few hours ago. Oh, fam, I'm telling you, we're gonna break this down. It's getting pretty frustrating out there, pretty frustrating. But we're gonna talk about it, break it down. I got the Italiano with me today. We're talking shop up next on OG 55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another fantastic episode of OG 55 with the Italiano. We're talking about Josh Diamaro. And there is some news that broke today that the fandom is not so happy about. There's a lot of frustration out there on Twitters. But before we get started, I want to introduce my brother, my compadre, the Italiano, Citrus George. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me on, and this is going to be a very interesting topic with some choice words I have for our daddy Josh. But before we get into all that, for anyone who would like to follow me on social media, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano, and of course, you'll find me here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There he is. There he is. You're official. All right, let's talk about Josh Diamaro. Now, I just want to say out the gate, right? We're critical of Josh because we care about these parks. You know, we're not trying to like pile on or like, it's like, this is, look, it's frustrating. And if any of his people are watching this by any chance at Disney, we're trying to get this division back on track. And we feel that there have been a lot of missteps, and we'll dive into it, but we're going to be constructive here, but just know that, come on, you know, they got to get their act together, you know, where it's getting like ridiculous. So this is from our friend Scott Gooston. And I always use Scott, you know, Scott's the homie. So we got to use a Scott Gooston tweet. It says here, in an interview with EW, Josh Diamaro talked about the Dino Land USA concept art 2023 version and stressed it's not a final piece of concept art, but rather highlights, quote, where our heads are, end quote, as Disney continues, quote, dreaming plans for Animal Kingdom. He goes on to also say, Diamaro also said there will be more blue sky talk. Yay! Quote, as we make our way through some of these ideas, some of them will become real. And we'll say that that's specifically what we're going to do, but I want our guests to be on the journey with us. Okay, I gotta say right out the gate, George.
He needs to blow it out of his ass.
Yeah, I gotta say, the blue sky stuff, fans are fed up. Okay, we don't want to hear any more blue sky, Josh. You know, if you don't have anything to announce, then don't say anything. And that's really what it comes down to, you know. And what they're doing, what this does, is it creates a situation where Disney, it's not transparency. It just feels that they're rudderless, that they don't know what direction to go in, that they're indecisive. That's all it sounds like. It's not fun. The fans don't like it. We've had multiple conventions now, D23, Destination D, with this blue sky, what if stuff. The fans are not enjoying this. Okay, so maybe it was a fun experiment, but it didn't work. And all you're doing, Josh, to be completely real, is you're breaking the trust with fans. Fans are no longer buying anything anymore. You know, we get this Avatar announcement from Bob Iger that something Avatar is coming to Disneyland, and fans are like, well, we'll believe it when we see it. And it's not a good place to be. Okay. The parks division under Josh Diamaro has become Lucasfilm. You know, Lucasfilm has the same problem with Kathleen Kennedy. She'll announce shows and movies, and the fans basically scoff and say, yeah. We'll believe it when we see it, Kathleen. It's the same thing now with the parks division. He's completely destroyed that trust, and it's frustrating to see this. What are your thoughts, George?
Yeah, I was, obviously being sarcastic before, but I'm going to actually get down to business here a little bit and be a little bit serious. I am extremely worried with, and I'm not just saying that just to attack the guy. As I said, he's probably a nice guy. You know, he has a great personality, what have you. But I'm only speaking this now as him as the parks chairman. I am really worried with him at the helm as chairman of parks because now these key words that he is saying that will be, you know, continuing on with the blue sky process, you know, discussing it, having you along the journey. What that is now telling me is the next event is going to be the D23 Expo. So is he now saying that, okay, at the Expo, we're going to get more what ifs, this dreaming, you know, type of thing, taking you along the journey? It's honestly, if that is the case, fans really need to, and I'm not saying to bully, I'm not saying to name call, I'm not saying to boo or throw tantrums, but fans need to be vocal about this
Yeah.
because this has got to stop.
Yeah.
This has gone far beyond notion of ridiculousness. It is like downright like annoying.
Well, yeah, and if you don't have anything, don't say anything. Or you know what? I would respect it more if Josh comes out there and says, you know what? The political environment right now in Florida is not good. We're going to wait until DeSantis is out of office before we decide anything. Cool. I understand where you're coming from, Josh. Just say that.
Yeah.
Why are you stalling for time? What is this game that we're playing here where we're these announcements where it's like, could be this, could be that. Look, if you don't have anything, then don't say anything. I don't understand the point of any of this. And you're not getting people excited. You're just frustrating people.
And there have been times throughout the company's history where the parks fell a little bit stale, you know, where there was nothing in the pipelines or what have you, nothing was being produced. That's completely fine. But as you just said, OG, it was times where nothing was mentioned, nothing was said. So nobody was anticipating anything. But when you then throw ideas out and you're hyping these people up and people are actually thinking and believing you are serious about this stuff and it's actually going to become a reality, but then you just kind of come back and say, oh, well, this is an if, this is a maybe, this is we're dreaming of this, the possibilities, and we want to take you on that journey. We're not in a fucking infomercial, Josh. Like, it's like, tell us straight, is it a yes or a no? It's like, and if it's a no, that is fine. But then don't say nothing at all.
You're better off not saying anything. This isn't helping the PR. This isn't getting fans excited. You're actually making it literally worse. You're actually sucking the air and the energy and the enthusiasm out of the room every time you do this what if maybe blue sky stuff. This is friend of the channel, Mouse Info. I love Mouse Info, by the way. So if you're not following them, you definitely have to. But Mouse Info is a pretty positive channel. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, they're pretty positive. And even Mouse Info's fed up. Mouse Info says pretty much what we're saying here, George. Don't take us on the journey. Showing us blue sky plans every 2 years just makes them look rudderless and indecisive. It doesn't have a positive effect on fans. It's just frustrating. And they're right. And Mouse Info, exactly how we feel. It just frustrates people. And you know what else is frustrating? Because sometimes some of these what if ideas are actually pretty decent, right? Like the Villains Land that got a huge reaction at D23.
Huge reaction.
Right. So fans get like invested a little bit like, oh, wow, that's a possibility. But then they never follow up with that. So it's like you're putting stuff out there that actually might excite people, but then there's no follow up. So now it's just a big letdown. You know, we haven't heard anything of that. Not one word. So
and what's even more frustrating is, again, it's the timing that they're choosing to make these announcements. Now, DeMauro had this conversation with the interview literally right as Hong Kong opened up the world of Frozen, and Shanghai is going to with Zootopia pretty soon, and Tokyo is going to be opening up Fantasy Springs that has Frozen, Tangled, and Neverland. These international parks are going gangbusters right now with these lands and attractions and immersive experiences, and it's still coming from the same company. It's still coming from WDI. So I'm not understanding what the holdup is with the domestic parks. Now, as you mentioned before, there may be some issues which we had covered in a previous Citrus Corner video with the state of Florida and the political battle between DeSantis and his team and the Walt Disney Company for
Right.
Walt Disney World. But that's still not making the argument as to why we're not hearing anything from Disneyland. You know, we're keep on hearing, and this part's actually coming from Iger with this Avatar experience, and then it gets leaked. Oh, it's going into Disney California Adventure. Now it's not going into Disney California Adventure. What is with this unknown guessing game scenario?
Right.
Just say it. How is it hurting anybody to just give us a simple template, a simple
Right.
format? We're not saying
Well,
go into the nitty gritty details, but
right.
just give us something and say, you know what, this is greenlit. We're doing it.
Right. And if Disneyland Forward is the issue, which I understand, like maybe they want to
Right.
see, um, maybe well, obviously, if Disneyland Forward gets approved, that might change the equation of where you would put something. That's fine, but just say that. Just say, hey, look, okay, we're going to bring Pandora to Anaheim. We're not exactly sure yet because the Disneyland Forward thing is still pending. Yada yada yada. Or, I mean, just something you got. Like it's this vagueness. It's going here. No, it's not. Yada yada yada. We don't even know what it is because they're using experience, and now everyone's speculating as to whether it's a land or an attraction or an exhibit, and it's like.
The execution is done poorly on both Damaro's end and honestly and partial of Iger's decision
Right.
because Iger is Josh's boss. So Iger could have full 100% say so of the direction that these parks go in, despite Josh being chairman, and he needs to light a fire under his ass
Yeah.
and say you need to do something. Otherwise, I mean, the stocks are starting to go up. You know, the Disney company is starting to do a turnaround with revenue and uh, for capital spending and what have you. They're starting to get that back. Don't ruin it by keep on doing this what if Blue Sky stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love Blue Sky. I think it's phenomenal, but I love Blue Sky in the context when the Imagineers are doing it for their job, and
Right.
then once they come up with an idea and a concept and it's greenlit, then they announce it to us.
Right. Or as fans, we blue sky have fun. But when
Exactly.
you're on that D23 stage, that's not the time to be blue sky spitballing stuff. Like that stage and Destination D is that those events are for confirmed things, greenlit things. I'll say this, and this might be an unpopular opinion. Honestly, at this point, I'd rather have Chapek as the parks guy again. I honestly, I'd rather have Chapek. At least with Chapek, as wacky and weird as some of his ideas were, like Pixar Pier, at least when he said something, it happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like, okay, so he announced Avengers Campus, we got it. He said Spider-Man's coming to DCA, we got it. Pixar Pier's coming, we got it. Like these were announcements that Chapes made, and they came to fruition. We knew they were confirmed. We knew they were greenlit. Since tomorrow, we've gotten a lot of what if, maybe, could, would, should have, blue sky. We're going to take you on the journey, friends along the way nonsense. And it's been terrible. I'd rather have Chapek back at this point. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. As far as like for the parks go, you're right. Everything that was announced, even for Walt Disney World, mentioned Ratatouille, we got it. Cosmic Rewind, we got it.
Right.
Tron, despite it taking 6 years, we still got it. It was still greenlit, into the pipeline. The cruise ships, for the Wish, now the upcoming Treasure, everything that was announced under Chapek's belt as chairman, not as CEO, but as the
Right.
parks chairman, there was progress.
Right. And the stuff that was canceled, I believe, was under Daddy Josh, like the Mary Poppins thing at Epcot, right? I think Josh was, because I think it was announced under Chapek, but I think it was canceled under Josh D'Amaro, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe I'm trying to remember where Chapek's position was. I don't know if I think so. I think Chapek was already CEO
When that was canned.
when it was canned, and then
Yeah.
the Avengers ticket got shelved.
And kicked
Yeah.
down the road,
Yeah.
and then and now we got this Avatar thing coming, God knows where, oh God knows what,
Yeah.
and it's like just.
But it's like they're mentioning Avatar, which is great. I'm excited for hopefully it's something worthwhile. But it's like, why mention that when we're still waiting on hearing about what this Avengers ticket is going to be? This thing has been through so many transitions. It's ridiculous. And then
Yeah.
we hear a little something at Destination D about the ride system and the ride vehicle, and then that's it. It's done. Not another peep.
Not another peep. Why don't we finish that first? Get that open. I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand it. I get it. The first iteration of the Avengers e-ticket, they had problems with, I believe the Imagineers had to go back to the drawing board because the capacity wasn't great because of the ride system where it would split apart and you'd go on your own vehicle. So apparently that system just didn't have the capacity that Disney wanted. Okay, fine. So they reworked it. Obviously they have a new system now with that new kind of like that Transformers looking vehicle. Okay, so now we got a new thing. Can we get that built? Like, what? This has been years and years of this Avengers e-ticket thing. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah,
But now we got something totally new on the plate again. Now, oh, forget that. Now we're going to bring Pandora to DCA. Well, what happened to this thing? And it's just frustrating. And then it's like the whole thing with Florida. It's like they do the whole Beyond Big Thunder thing. Oh no, well, scrap that. Now half of that stuff is going to go to Animal Kingdom.
Which it doesn't even fit in, like, as far as like Animal Kingdom. Like there's so many different possibilities that they could have used for Animal Kingdom. They could have used, again, Zootopia. You know, I get it. It has like a human side to it, you know, but it would have been better than just putting it inside the Tree of Life.
Right.
You know, so that you have The Lion King, one of the biggest, greatest, well-produced box office blockbusters in Disney animation, and they have yet to do really anything with The Lion King. Yeah. They could have done something like that. So they're choosing Coco, Encanto, and Indiana Jones. I mean, I know that they can go the route of, you know, with certain aspects of the film, or like, you know, creating a like a type of way, you know, how to maneuver it. I think how they can kind of get away with Indiana Jones is, I believe it was our friend Marty that mentioned about like a dragon egg, but if they wanted to keep like the concept like of he could do like a dinosaur egg, you know, that would have been, you know, that would be kind of, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That whole archaeology sort of angle. Your idea about Lion King would be great for that dinosaur ride system though too. With the Jeeps, you go on like almost like a safari.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a dope Lion King ride. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it doesn't, that's the frustrating thing. It's like, I didn't go to architecture school and have all these degrees, you know, and you and I can come up with something like that. Like, what's so hard about this? I don't understand.
It's really not, they're making it that way. It's like Common Core math. It's like, rather than just do it and you get the answer right there, you got to do, instead of going from A to Z, you go B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. It's like you're going through all these steps. It's like, it's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
And then Encanto and Coco were supposed to go into, for the Beyond Big Thunder, which I think would have been really cool.
Right.
It would have fit well in Magic Kingdom. But if you're going to take 2 out of those 3 concepts and possibly move it to Animal Kingdom, that's not even greenlit yet. It's just a possibility.
And it's another what if.
They're considering.
We went from one what if to a completely different what if. So then Josh is saying, guess what? There's more what ifs on the way.
Yeah. So it's like, so now what is there to become of the Beyond Big Thunder?
Right. Yeah, exactly. What's going to become of that? Exactly. So
if we still, you know, they still considering the villains? If so, what else is going to replace Coco and Encanto? Or maybe they'll change it back. Maybe they'll say, yep, no, we change our mind. You know, I think we're going to put Encanto and Coco in Magic Kingdom after all.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I think Josh, and again, this is constructive criticism, but I think he's afraid to commit to a big project like this for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. He doesn't want to fully go all in on a big project in the domestic parks. It feels like he's so indecisive. You know, and maybe I'm wrong, but that's the energy, that's the vibe you're giving us tomorrow, that you can't make a decision. You know, I'd rather make a decision. You know, Chapek in my opinion, Chapek made a bad call when he wanted to change Paradise Pier to Pixar Pier, right? The direction was kind of wonky, right?
Right.
whatever. But at least he picked the direct. At least he picked something, and he stood by that decision. I'd rather have these guys or gals make a decision and stand by it than have no decision. They just don't stand by anything, and it's so wishy-washy.
And he's coming out very enthusiastic. He kind of has like this optimism kind of side to him where he's like hyping the people up. But it's like, why tease us and hype us up if you're just going to pull our morale down and letting us walk out of the auditorium saying, okay, that was a waste of my time.
It's like, honestly, man, it's like me going to you, right, and saying, hey, George, let's go grab a bite to eat, man. My treat. But I'm going to tell you what, it could be steak. It could be Italian. Hey, it could be Japanese food. Might be Korean barbecue. You never know. But we're going to go on this journey together. And we'll eventually come up with something. But right now, let's just go on that journey. Hey, maybe it's Korean barbecue. You never know, man. You never know. Imagine the possibilities of Korean barbecue or Italian, right? It's stupid.
By that time, I'll end up anemic.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make a decision, Josh. Pick something. And look, to be fair, maybe it's out of Josh's hands. I don't know. Some people are speculating that, maybe Disney doesn't have the money to invest right now. I don't really necessarily buy that, though, to be honest with you, because Disney, they do have money. They're not completely going bankrupt. They could invest. They could make a decision on some of this stuff. They're investing in the international parks. I know that's not, they don't pay for the complete bill for that. Right. Obviously they split it, but
did they say when they're going to start the process for that 60 billion? Like, did they say like when that?
No, they just said over the next 10 years. So
over the next 10 years. So it's like, we don't even know like when that's going to start for the 10 years. Yeah.
You just got to make a call, Josh.
It's really worrying me now after reading these articles for the interview that he just had, and those key and Marty kind of touched upon this yesterday when he says he kind of like looks at keywords. So these keywords that DeMauro is using is, there's going to be more talk. You're going to come along the journey with us. There's going to be more blue sky. Well, if there's going to be more blue sky, you have to have a platform to showcase that blue sky. And the only way to do that is through an event. Well, we already had the Destination D. There's not going to be another Destination D in 2024. It's going to be the D23 event, formerly known as the Expo. And I'm telling you right now, and you're going to move the parks presentation over at the Honda Center, that's going to hold twice as many people as it did in the Anaheim Convention Center, and you're going to stand up on this stage in this big type of arena,
right,
for more blue sky what ifs. I don't know what's going on in DeMauro's head to think that's a good idea, to have 20 to 25,000 diehard Disney fans to hear this crap a third time from him.
No, it's enough. It's enough, Josh. Seriously, like, announce something, and follow through. This seems so indecisive. And look, if you don't have anything, then don't say anything. You're digging a hole when you do the what if stuff. You're better off not announcing anything. If you don't have the money, hey, if the fans who are speculating that Disney doesn't have the money to invest right now in the parks in a big way, if that is true, then Josh, just don't say anything. If you don't have a big thing to announce, then you don't announce a big thing. That's fine. But you don't go in there and say, well, imagine the possibilities. You're just making people mad.
Yeah.
You're destroying fan morale. This is bad. They gotta change this, dude. This is not good. Really, really not good.
No, it's not, because the stuff that they're giving us, the what ifs, is actually really good stuff. That's what's pissing me off. It's actually really good stuff, but the stuff that they are greenlighting, a Zootopia 4D show in the Tree of Life, yeah, okay.
I know all the cool stuff is the what if, and then they do these kind of cheap, whatever stuff. Like, look, the San Francisco thing at DCA, I enjoy it. I think it was well done.
Right.
I think it makes sense, right?
But it fits in with that, because it was the wharf. They're just kind of retheming it. I like it, and sometimes you don't need like a bunch like of hype immersive e-ticket stuff.
No, you don't. But it's like that kind of stuff. There's a place for it. but you also have to give us the big stuff too, mixed in with some smaller projects. It can't all be retheme and small stuff, you know. And the small stuff seems to go through, but the big stuff never seems to go through. The big stuff is always stays in the blue sky.
Yeah,
That's got to change. I mean, it really has to change. I don't
Yeah.
know, but George, I want to thank you so much, brother, for coming on. The crazy stuff. I mean, I was so frustrated when I saw this Daddy Josh stuff today. I was just like, again, here we go, and all of Twitter now. You know, it's like everyone is like upset, and I don't blame everybody for that.
And no, I don't either. And honestly, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I've been talking about this on the channel a lot, kind of promoting the notion, Josh has a golden opportunity for at this next D23 event, to really showcase it. We're going to be at the Honda Center.
Right.
It's going to be a bigger platform. It's going to be a bigger venue. It's going to be a lot more fans. He already kind of screwed up twice already. He can redeem himself for the third time. And they'll already have a vote for the Disneyland Forward. Hopefully within that next year, things will kind of calm down in Florida. It's the perfect opportunity, and yet we are still stuck in this rut hole with this possibility, considering blue sky up in the air. What if, John?
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But George, thank you so much for coming on, brother. If you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you'll find me here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
Perfect. And thank you all so much for watching. Comment down below with all your thoughts on the what if, the maybe, the journey. We're gonna find ourselves, with Josh. we're gonna take long walks on the beach with this journey, ridiculous. But comment down below with everything that all your opinions. We love to hear from our community. Thank you so much for all your support of OG55. George and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye, everybody.